Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you from Mexico with another painting demonstration. Today I'm going to be painting a Brazilian guy in the jungle. I've mentioned AI in another video. The one I like best is Dream Studio. I was able to write a series of prompts in Dream Studio that allowed me to generate some great images of shirtless Brazilian guys in the jungle. And this one is one of my favorites. So here's the original image, and here's how I tweaked it in Photoshop. And here's how I drew it on canvas. I just took the big shapes from the tweaked photo and did a very rough outline of things on the canvas before I started painting. And now I'm doing my usual thing of covering the canvas with an acrylic wash. And now it's time to dive into the painting. I'm starting with the darkest greens because that's one of the most used colors in the image. Also, I like to start with the darks. Next, I do the darkest shadows on the body, and for this I usually use a mix of alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, and just a bit of ultramarine blue. But there are lots of variations. Mainly you just want a dark reddish purplish tone. What I'm going for in this painting is what I'm always going for, to focus on painting a pattern of light colors and dark colors, and to focus only on that pattern and to paint it with some lively, bold brush strokes with as much energy and verve as possible. Not trying to paint figure and jungle, just trying to keep it abstract and lively and fun, so that when recognizable shapes and forms begin to emerge from the pattern, it just happens. It's natural and not forced, and the resulting image has the same energy and life I was putting into the individual brush strokes. It doesn't always happen that way, but when it does, it's great. Now I'm starting on the medium tones in the background, which are mostly a dull kind of khaki green. These dull colors are important because they make room and allow the bright colors we're going to add later to pop. This dull khaki green, by the way, I got by mixing up some green and then adding a bit of red to it to gray it down, to move it away from green and toward gray. Now I'm using that same dull dark khaki for the guy's shorts. I know the shorts are going to kind of blend in with the background, and sometimes that doesn't work. But this time, in this painting, I think it's going to work fine because I think the figure is going to pop just fine without the shorts having to be prominent. Okay, now I'm ready for some light flesh tones, which are kind of orangey because this guy is not white bread. He's a rich mixture of races and a beautiful brown. Just wait till later when I use some really orange tones. For the darker flesh tones on the stomach, I'm using mostly raw sienna with some burnt sienna and a little bit of cadmium red light. Notice how this really warms up the figure. Now it's time for those really orange tones I mentioned a minute ago. I used cadmium orange, cad yellow, and cad red medium, and some white to get this. And I know it looks like it's a bit much right now, but I'm pretty sure it'll work out fine down the line. With the face, I have to really watch myself because there's a really strong temptation to get fussy and careful with the face and try to make it perfect. No, instead I'm focusing on the areas of light and dark and trying to ignore that it's a face. Ideally, there will be no detail, but when you look at the painting, you'll still see a face that looks perfectly real and natural. Now I'm going to put in those white teeth just because it's going to make the whole face come to life. And then some highlights on the forehead, the nose, and the shoulders. Now I'm adding some brighter yellow-green highlights, and now the jungle is coming to life. But we have to be careful not to make it too vibrant because we want the figure to be the attention getter here. Now I'm adding the highlights, the final touches on the jungle. And this is a dangerous part of the painting because it's really easy to get carried away and keep adding these cute little highlights when you should have stopped a long time ago. And this is exactly what happened with this painting. The background got way too busy and I had to get away from the painting and get a good night's sleep and then look at it again in the morning to see the best way to simplify the background. Then I mostly just went in and removed a lot of what I had put in the day before. But I also did some rebalancing, not necessarily following the photograph, more just looking for a balance within the painting, adding a dark here and a light there, etc., until it looks convincing. I thought I was done with the painting, and then I looked at those shorts and I thought, no, they still need something. Maybe some highlights, some lighter greens. And so that's what I did. And now they have a lot more personality. So then I really thought I was done. I even signed the painting, but a few minutes later I looked at it and I was really bothered by that palm frond sticking out in the upper left. It just looked so flat and awkward and it was distracting. So I messed around with it for a while. I tried some stuff and I finally got something I was much happier with. And voila, it's done. I call this On a Jungle Path and you can see it now on my website. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint and maybe picked up some tips. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That inspires me to make more videos. And if you got inspired watching me paint today, go put on your painting pants and go paint.